This is kind of a hard video for me to shoot because it's important to get the tone right and it's important to be clear about what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is that it's not that you can't do something, it's that you're unwilling. And in sales, you don't fail because you can't learn to sell and because you can't be good at it or even great at it. You fail because you're unwilling. Hey, it's Anthony Iannarino of thesalesblog.com, right here, youtube.com/Iannarino, and author of The Only Sales Guide You'll Ever Need. And I've been thinking about the distinction that I've made between salespeople who eventually succeed and salespeople who fail or wash out or give up on themselves and go home way too soon. And that distinction is, it's not that they can't be really good at selling, it's that they're unwilling to be really good at selling because they're unwilling to be uncomfortable. And so for the last 20 years, I've either been leading, managing, coaching, training, and developing salespeople. And I've noticed that there are people who show up and they have all the right attributes to succeed in sales, except the willingness. They're not comfortable being uncomfortable. So when you start with prospecting and you start with cold calling and you say the fastest way to get new clients in your pipeline and schedule the face-to-face meetings you need is to pick up the phone, you can give them the words, you can give them everything they need to overcome every objection, but they're just unwilling to pick up the phone. It's not that they can't be great at it. They're just not interested in picking up the phone because it makes them feel something about themselves, and that something is uncomfortable. They're afraid because they're uncomfortable. And it's not that you can't learn to close and ask for commitments. And there are a lot of commitments that we have to ask for when we sell, but you can get super comfortable with super language that's not self-oriented, that's not going to feel smarmy. You're not going to feel bad about yourself. The closes don't have any names. It's just a natural conversation you're having with somebody that you're trying to help. You can learn to do that, but you have to be willing to ask people to give you commitments. And you have to be willing to make that person a little bit uncomfortable sometimes with the commitments that you ask for, specifically because it's the right thing to do to get them the result that they need. And you can even learn how to present in front of a group of people, even if you're horrified and petrified of the idea of standing up in front and talking in front of a group of people. You could go to Toastmasters and within a year, you could be completely cured of any fear that you have of public speaking, and you could actually enjoy standing up in front of a boardroom with 14 people. When I walk into a boardroom with 14 people, I always think to myself, these people are completely outnumbered and completely outgunned. I can't wait for them to start throwing questions at me. And if that horrifies you, it's just because you haven't had enough reps and you're not comfortable there, but everybody who does it eventually gets comfortable. But those people are willing to do it. And the game of sales has changed. These skills that we're talking about here are table stakes. Now you have to have business acumen, so you've got to be like a good general manager, and you got to know how to manage and lead change. You've got to be a change agent, and then you got to help manage that change because you're accountable for what you sell. And even something as complex as managing a group of stakeholders with different needs and conflicting needs and silos, you can learn to do that, but you just have to be willing to engage in the process, and you have to be willing to live on this plateau where you're uncomfortable longer than you're willing to be uncomfortable. But on the other side of that discomfort is the success you want. And so in sales, you don't fail because you can't do these things, because lots of human beings before you have come in and have learned to do these things and they're great at it. You just have to be willing to do it, and that's the difference. So salespeople typically don't fail because they can't, they fail because they won't. And if sales isn't your thing, the same is true of whatever that endeavor is. It's not that you can't do it, it's that you're unwilling to spend time being uncomfortable until you can. I'm Anthony Iannarino. This program is every day. Go visit me at thesalesblog.com. Do sign up for my newsletter, My Best Work Every Week, although I'm starting to think YouTube's my best work every week, so maybe you should subscribe here too. When you get there, sign up for the newsletter. You'll get it Sunday morning. It'll allow you to hit the ground running Monday with a great big idea. Thanks for being here. This is Every Day.